You recently showed up at a Hollywood Reporter shoot, and is this true? Because I got a photo here. I want to know if this is actually real. Supposedly, you're sitting on a bunch of money.
In a world where most rappers fade with time, 50 Cent has done the unthinkable. He evolved beyond the music, beyond the charts, and into a multi-dimensional mogul. But what makes his story so gripping isn't just the riches, the mansions, or the million-dollar cars. It's the brutal reality of where he came from and how he turned pain into power. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson didn't just survive getting shot 9 times, he turned that near-death experience into fuel, launching one of the most aggressive career takeovers hip-hop has ever seen. From gritty mixtapes to TV empires, from filing bankruptcy to owning luxury estates with helipads, 50's journey is anything but ordinary. But what really lies beneath the designer suits and champagne endorsements? This is not just the tale of a rapper with a few lucky breaks. This is a calculated rise built on ruthless business moves, bold reinvention, and fearless branding. From rapping about robberies to collecting Rolexes that could buy a mansion, 50 Cent's transformation isn't just impressive, it's almost unbelievable. So how did a kid from South Jamaica, Queens, go from dodging bullets to building a legacy worth tens of millions? That's what we're about to uncover, and trust us, every chapter gets more shocking than the last. Let's start where it all began, on the cold, unforgiving streets of New York. Before the music, before the money, there was nothing but survival. Curtis Jackson's early life reads more like a cautionary tale than a hero's origin story. Born on July 6, 1975, in South Jamaica, Queens, he was raised by his mother Sabrina, a drug dealer who died in a mysterious fire when Curtis was only 8 years old. Left in the care of his grandmother, he was quickly pulled into the street life himself. By age 12, Curtis was hustling crack cocaine after school, surrounded by violence, arrests, and loss. At just 15, he was already running from the law and hiding weapons. The turning point came in the 10th grade when he was arrested for bringing a gun and drug money to school. Things spiraled further in 1994 when he was caught selling to an undercover cop. His house was raided, heroin and firearms were seized, and Jackson was sentenced to a boot camp program. But amidst the chaos, a different fire began to burn. In his friend's basement, armed with nothing but a turntable and a dream, Curtis started rapping, laying beats, crafting verses, and slowly forming the alter ego that would one day conquer global charts. This was no overnight success. It was born out of desperation, out of pain, and out of the belief that music might be the only way out. What came next would shake the industry to its core. May 2000 was the day everything could have ended, or the day everything truly began. Just as 50 Cent's buzz was growing with his track, How to Rob, he was ambushed outside his grandmother's house. 9 bullets tore through his body, his face, hand, legs, hip, and chest. Most people wouldn't survive. He did. But the real shocker, he didn't just survive, he got stronger. After 2 weeks in the hospital and months of recovery, Curtis emerged with a slur in his voice and a fire in his soul. His label dropped him, radio ignored him, and industry insiders wrote him off. But he went underground, literally to Canada, where he recorded mixtapes that reignited the streets. Guess Who's Back and No Mercy, No Fear became street anthems. The major labels had turned their backs, but Eminem didn't. He saw the raw hunger and signed 50 to Shady Aftermath. What followed wasn't a comeback, it was a cultural reset. The scars on his face became a badge of honor, his music more menacing, and his delivery colder. In that moment, Curtis Jackson stopped being a rapper. He became a myth, a legend built on blood, bars, and business savvy. And with Eminem and Dr. Dre behind him, he was ready to go from underground to unstoppable. By the time 2003 rolled around, 50 Cent wasn't just knocking at the door of the music industry, he was about to kick it down. Backed by Eminem and Dr. Dre, he released Get Rich or Die Tryin', a debut album that sold nearly 1 million copies in its first 4 days. It became an anthem for the streets and the charts, led by the colossal hit In Date Club, which remains one of the most played songs in radio history. Suddenly, the same industry that once blacklisted him was now bowing to him. Follow-up albums like The Massacre and Curtis went multi-platinum, further solidifying his reign. Even a public chart battle with Kanye West couldn't slow him down. If anything, it only fueled more headlines. But while other rappers focused solely on music, 50 Cent was already plotting something bigger. He saw music not as the destination, but as the launch pad. Tours were selling out. He was earning millions from every live performance. His final lap tour across 2023-2024 grossed over $13 million across 103 shows, and with his Las Vegas residency pulling in another $15 million over just 6 nights, Curtis Jackson was quickly turning rhymes into real estate, shows into studios, and lyrics into leverage. The empire was building, brick by brick, with beats as the foundation. While many assumed 50's dominance would stay confined to hip-hop, they underestimated his obsession with control, and television became his next battlefield. Through his G-Unit film and television company, he launched Power, a gritty crime drama that became one of Starz's most successful franchises. Not stopping there, he expanded the Power universe with spin-offs like Power Book 2, Ghost and Raising Kanan, each drawing millions of viewers and raking in massive ratings. But it wasn't just about fiction. He produced BMF, a show based on real drug lords, which critics and fans devoured. In 2018, he inked a 4-year deal with Starz rumored to be worth $150 million with bonuses. And when the Starz deal wrapped up, he didn't hesitate. By 2025, he was producing a Netflix docuseries tackling the legal storm surrounding Diddy, a bold headline-grabbing move that kept his name front and center. He even launched his own action-themed channel internationally via Roku. And perhaps most impressively, he opened a colossal 985,000 square foot film studio in Shreveport, Louisiana, a long-term investment not only in content creation, but in job creation. With all these moves, 50 Cent wasn't just playing Hollywood, he was owning it, one episode and one contract at a time. Long before celebrity branding became the norm, 50 Cent was already rewriting the rulebook. Instead of settling for a quick endorsement check, he demanded equity, and that bold choice led to one of the most legendary deals in hip-hop history. When Coca-Cola bought Vitamin Water's parent company Glitz for $4.1 billion in 2007, 50 Cent's reported cut, thanks to his stake, was somewhere between $60 and $100 million after taxes. That single deal turned him from rapper to investor overnight. But that was only the beginning. He launched Sire Spirits, a premium liquor brand featuring Branson Cognac and Le Chemin du Roi Champagne, which became staples at celebrity events, NBA courtside lounges, and even charity auctions. One bottle of his champagne once sold for $325,000 at a Houston rodeo event. Today, the brand generates an estimated $10 to $15 million annually. His investment portfolio only broadened from there, diving into tech with SMS Audio, dabbling in fashion with G-Unit clothing, and even accepting Bitcoin payments for album sales back in 2014, long before crypto was mainstream. Some ventures flopped, like his failed boxing promotion company, but his risk-taking rarely slowed. For 50 Cent, every bet is a move, every move a potential empire. July 2015 sent shockwaves through entertainment media when 50 Cent filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Headlines screamed broke, but the reality was far more strategic. He wasn't out of money, he was restructuring, facing legal disputes and massive spending, particularly on luxury real estate. Jackson chose to press reset before it spiraled. It was a calculated, legally sound move that allowed him to reduce liabilities, reorganize assets, and emerge with more control than ever, and that's exactly what he did. Unlike other celebrities who disappear after financial embarrassment, 50 re-entered the scene stronger, funneling cash into projects with long-term returns like content, spirits, and media platforms. He cut out bloat, ditched vanity buys, and leaned into scalable income. The public saw a bankruptcy filing, but insiders saw the mind of a mogul. He treated it like a business pivot, not a personal defeat. And today, he earns more annually than before, proving that setbacks, even public ones, can become the fuel for your next empire. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about owning it, flipping it, and using it to sharpen your game. At the peak of his early success, 50 Cent made a move that turned heads and raised eyebrows, buying Mike Tyson's former 17-acre estate in Farmington, Connecticut for $4.1 million. A 50,000 square foot palace, complete with 21 bedrooms, 37 bathrooms, a nightclub, indoor pool, recording studio, casino, gym, and even a helipad. It was the ultimate flex, but it came with a catch, a massive one. In 2015, court documents revealed the home cost nearly $72,000 a month to maintain. That's $864,000 a year just to keep the lights on. Utilities alone were $18,000 a month. Despite pumping another $6 million into upgrades, the mansion quickly became a money pit. He tried to sell it for $18.5 million, but got no bites. Over 12 years, the price kept dropping until he finally sold it in 2019 for just $2.90 million, a staggering loss. The house that once symbolized victory had become a monument to financial overreach, but 50 took it in stride, later admitting it was too big, too much, and not worth the stress. Even moguls learn, and this lesson came wrapped in marble floors and maintenance bills. After shedding the burden of his Connecticut mega estate, 50 Cent made a sharp pivot, one that speaks volumes about his evolution. He purchased a high-end modern mansion in Houston, Texas, that trades over-the-top extravagance for minimalist luxury. The property is sleek, private, and practical, but still dripping in class, with polished concrete floors, quartz countertops, and towering glass walls. The home is a curated blend of style and sophistication. There's a fireplace-wrapped outdoor lounge, a top-tier kitchen fitted with Thermador appliances, a spa-level master suite, and a home office that opens onto a private courtyard. It's not just where he lives, it's where he operates. It reflects the newer 50 Cent, calculated, focused, and forward-looking. No helipad here, just a man who's traded flash for function without sacrificing prestige. And while it's a fraction the size of his old estate, it's a fortress of purpose, a space where mogul moves are plotted without the glare of unnecessary extravagance. If you want to understand the psychology of 50 Cent, don't just look at his lyrics, look in his garage. It's a vault of horsepower, elegance, and raw power. One of the crown jewels? A Lamborghini Aventador Roadster, worth $500,000, with 730 horsepower, and a design ripped straight from a sci-fi film. It's a road missile that hits 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds. Then there's the Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead Coupe, a $450,000 luxury yacht on wheels, quiet, majestic, and intimidating in its silence. But he's not all about flash. The Rolls-Royce Ghost, more understated, but still boasting a twin-turbo V12, provides a whisper-quiet ride, fit for a king in stealth mode. His Bentley Mulsanne, a now discontinued $300,000 flagship, and the sporty Continental GT add British elegance to the mix. For security and style, the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon and Chevrolet Suburban complete the picture, because even a mogul needs to move incognito sometimes. These aren't just cars, they're statements. Each one represents a moment in his journey, from chaos to control. Each one screams luxury, but they also speak to different facets of the man who once sold crack on corners and now signs 7-figure deals on studio lots. In the world of celebrity garages, 50's lineup isn't the biggest, but it's arguably the most intentional, powerful, tactical, and always one step ahead. While most people check the time with a smartphone, 50 Cent wears his minutes in solid gold and baguette diamonds. His watch collection is more than just expensive. It's an extension of his brand, bold, opulent, and unforgettable. Leading the pack is the Hublot Spirit of Big Bang King Gold, valued around $43,000, a blend of traditional Swiss precision and modern swagger. But that's just the beginning. There's the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Double Balance Openworked, an $85,000 engineering marvel with an exposed dial that turns timekeeping into performance art. His Cartier Panther ring, glittering at $170,000, screams power with every move of his hand. Then comes the Hublot Big Bang Evolution in 18K gold, encrusted with $120,000 worth of diamonds, an unmistakable statement piece with a $110,000 price tag. Still not flashy enough, the royal oak covered entirely in baguette diamonds is worth $200,000, and it's nothing compared to his ultimate showstopper, the Audemars Piguet chandelier, worth $235,000, and the crown jewel, the royal oak offshore dripping in nearly 500 baguette diamonds, valued at over $1 million. Every timepiece isn't just a purchase, it's a trophy, a reminder of a man who turned time into wealth and scars into status. In a world where watches are often just accessories, for 50 Cent they're wearable declarations of war, of wealth and of survival. Behind the cars, the cash and the cameras, Curtis Jackson's personal life has often been just as dramatic as his lyrics. In 1996, he became a father to his first son Marquise Jackson, with then-girlfriend Shaniqua Tompkins. What began as a hopeful family story quickly turned into public warfare, lawsuits, social media spats, and a broken father-son bond that's made headlines for years. Tompkins once filed a $50 million lawsuit, which was thrown out, but the emotional scars remained. His relationship with Marquise has been distant and filled with tension, with both parties airing grievances online for the world to see. In 2003, 50 had a high-profile relationship with actress Vivica A. Fox, which ended after just 8 months but lived on in interviews, memes, and back-and-forth interviews years later. He's had his fair share of legal battles too, suing Taco Bell in 2009 for unauthorized use of his name, endorsing everything from headphones to underwear, and navigating the highs and lows of celebrity with a mix of bravado and litigation. But through it all, one thing has remained constant. 50 never lets personal conflict derail his public grind. Instead, he often flips these dramas into headlines, into stories, and sometimes into lyrics. He lives out loud, even when it hurts. Because in his world, vulnerability isn't weakness, it's content. 50 Cent's life isn't just a rags to riches tale, it's a masterclass in controlled chaos, in turning every loss into leverage and every win into a stepping stone. From nearly dying in front of his grandmother's house, to selling out international tours, from filing bankruptcy to launching a film studio, he has constantly defied expectations and redefined what it means to be a mogul. His story is not clean or linear, it's raw, gritty, and unpredictable, and that's what makes it so compelling. He made millions from music, but billions in brand value by mastering controversy, owning his flaws, and staying 3 steps ahead of everyone else. Whether he's stacking equity in liquor empires, producing blockbuster television, or flexing with million-dollar watches, 50 Cent has proven one thing: he's not here to be liked, he's here to win. The man who once rapped about robbing celebrities now sits at tables with CEOs and bankers, and if there's one lesson to take from his journey, it's this: success isn't about luck, it's about survival, and no one plays that game harder than 50 Cent. The hustle doesn't stop, it evolves, and Curtis Jackson is the blueprint.